Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Hughes. I'm the director of the Maryland Historical Trust. Since 1975, the Maryland Historical Trust has recognized the partnerships and projects that help preserve and share Maryland's history and cultural heritage. Today, we celebrate a collaboration that has expanded public understanding of Indigenous history on Maryland's Eastern Shore, while centering the voices and knowledge of the Pocomoke Indian Nation. It is my honor to present the 2026 Maryland Preservation Award for Preservation Partnerships to the Pocomoke Indian Nation and the Beach to Bay Heritage Area for the History, Heritage, and Homelands Trail project. And I would want to say that I'm happy to be joined by the chair of the Maryland Historical Trust Board, Laura Mears, who lives here in Worcester County. So thank you, Laura, for coming.
Absolutely.
For many years, public interpretation of Indigenous history on Maryland's Eastern Shore relied on incomplete narratives and outside perspectives. This project took a different approach by placing the Pocomoke Indian Nation at the center of the research, interpretation, and storytelling process. Together, the partners worked to create a more accurate and community-informed understanding of the region's history and cultural landscape. Over the course of the project, the Beach to Bay Heritage Area and the Pocomoke Indian Nation combined archival research with oral histories and community knowledge passed down across generations. The result is a new guidebook and a series of interpretive signs that identify the historic homelands of Indigenous communities across the Lower Eastern Shore and shares a more complete history of the region. Just as importantly, the project preserves or presents Indigenous communities not simply as part of the past, but as living communities with continuing ties to the landscape and culture of the Eastern Shore today. This partnership demonstrates the value of collaborative storytelling and the importance of including Indigenous communities directly in the interpretation of their own history. By working together, the Pocomoke Indian Nation and the Beach to Bay Heritage Area have created a stronger and more meaningful public understanding of Maryland's history. On behalf of the Maryland Historical Trust, I'm pleased to present the 2026 Maryland Preservation Award for Preservation Partnerships to Cheryl Dowdy and Buddy Howard of the Pocomoke Indian Nation, and Lisa Challenger and Andre Viento of the Beach to Bay Heritage Area. We are also honored to share a citation that I'll recount later, but at this time, if I could ask Lisa and the representatives of Pat and the representative of the Indian Nation to come up, and I'm going to give you the awards, and then we're going to hear from Senator Carrazzo. Come up.
We have our board president and vice president here.
Invite anyone up who would like to.
Well, then let's have our board members who are here, if you don't mind coming up and being part of this, because we can't do anything without the board. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I think we have some representatives of elected officials who are going to come up and share something special with us, with our award winners.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pat. I am the district representative for State Senator Mary Beth Carosa, who is the state senator for this area. I'm also her director of constituent services. She is having to be in another place, so this is what we do when she has to. But I'm very excited about this because I know Lisa Challenger well, and I know how much and how hard the Beach to Bay Heritage program works, and it's just amazing what you've done. To see you get this award is we're proud. And so, on behalf of Senator Rosa and Senator John Mouse, I will read this resolution from the Senate of Maryland. It says, "Be it hereby known to all that the Senate of Maryland offers the sincerest congratulations to the Pocomoke Indian Nation and Beach Bay Heritage Area in recognition of receiving a Maryland Preservation Award for your dedicated work in transforming a cultural heritage trail in the Pocomoke Indian Nation. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution be presented on this 14th day of May, 2026, and it's signed by Senator Rosa and John Mouse, Senator in the neighboring Wycomico, and also the President of the Senate. So congratulations.
And I have another citation to share. This is an official citation, which reads, "Be it hereby known to all that sincerest congratulations are offered to the Pocomoke Indian Nation, Inc., and to the Beach Bay Heritage Area in recognition of receiving the 2026 Maryland Preservation Award for your work with Beach Bay Heritage Area to transform and redesign a regional heritage trail, creating the new History, Heritage, and Homelands Trail. Congratulations." Presented on this 14th day of May 2026 on behalf of the Wycomico County House Delegation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I think now we're going to hear from the awardees.
Okay. I'm going to ask Anya to come up here with me. When we had the idea to really, what I call reimagine the original Beach Bay Indian Trail, which was a decades-old project that was intended to navigate visitors from Ocean City on the Atlantic coast to Crisfield on Chesapeake Bay, we just thought it was a really good idea to make it real and factual and authentic. And when I reached out to Cheryl, her first question was, well, are we going to have any input or say in this? We don't want to just, put our name on it. And so, absolutely, I told her, and it has been a true partnership where we relied on all of their first source information. But I tend to have these ideas for grant funding, and then this gentleman right here is the one that really executes, proofreads, researches, proofreads again and again and again, and I couldn't, we work as a team, and this was a really fantastic partnership. You want to say anything?
I think this project really shows the importance of letting communities tell their own story, because they're the ones that know it the best, and they're the ones that are going to tell it the way that it should be told. So I think this is a really important step in that direction, and also kind of demonstrating the power of collaboration.
And that is all we have. I'll turn it over to you and Buddy and the Chief.
Thanks everyone for coming and tuning in. This is a really special day for us and for our community at large. Partnership is a word that gets thrown around a lot, and sometimes it is very superficial. This was not that. The Beach to Bay team, which it's incredible what these two individual staff members can produce. They spent a lot of time discussing with us and working with us and trying to keep us in a size of word count that could actually be produced. They had a lot on their plate to help us tell our story. And they didn't just tell the story, they amplified our story using our voice, using our ideals, and really getting to know what we do at a much deeper level. So we are very grateful. We're excited for the community to be able to explore this National Recreational Trail and all that it holds, including the stop at this wonderful community museum with a mural by Mike Rosado showing a Native American village, specifically a Pocomoke Native American village before European contact. So there's just a lot of history and heritage on these homelands, and this project is going to share that with a lot of people. So we're excited. And very thankful for my father and his brother and their father's work. We lost Philip. Philip, will you just come up and join us as we stand here? Because Philip also, my brother now, have researched and gone back and did it again with all of that to make sure that we are giving the community the best that we can find. So I'm grateful to our historians, some who have passed, and the work that they have created, and the help that the professionalism and patience of Beach to Bay Heritage Area added to the recipe. It's okay. So, Dad, would you like to?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, everybody that was involved with this project. Two tidbits to say. I'm the third chief in direct descendancy of the Pocomoke. The late, my dad was chief back in the 60s, 70s. And my older brother was chief during the 80s, 90s. And I am second chief position, and thankful for that honor. I would like to also say how much this mural, which is, it goes back in time. I remember when the museum was first made public, and the resident head at that time on the program and so forth with Brian. His, can't remember his last name. Everybody knew him as Brian. So we were talking then about possibly putting in a mural in this exhibit. And I had previously worked with Smithsonian Institution on projects that they were doing having to do with Native Americans all over the United States and even in Canada and Alaska. So I had some experience in museums across the country, and so it made me realize that how much a mural would add to this exhibit, and also to the meaning that that would augment our work within the museum. So we talked about this over and over for I don't know how many people that were in charge during that period of time, but it was always an interesting concept to get a museum mural. So that has now been accomplished. I want to thank the recent addition of lighting. That was just in the last month or so. And that really highlights this. As you can see, the mural is not just a single snapshot it emphasizes a number of the activities and the customs of local Pocomoke Indians. And the lighting brings that out even more so. So I want to thank all who were behind those efforts, and they're really appreciated. The brochure, it's marvelous the way it's designed, and so we want to thank Worcester County staff that was behind that. It's an unusual brochure of the size, and it deals with it gives a traveler through this area an understanding all the various Native American villages that was in the lower Delmarva. I'm more familiar with the lower part of Somerset County. I'm from Pittsfield, born and raised there. And so, and my families go back a number of generations, goes back to the 1600s with the English names that are associated with our family. So I'm really, I hate to say the word I'm proud, because that gets a little bit heavy on my part to say that, but I guess I am proud of the accomplishment. I'm proud of the fact that we have this museum here, and we have an exhibit on Native Americans here. And we in the tanks here have a lot of closeness, because when we come in here, if we're not careful, they'll get through us and get over here to the outer first, you know. But anyway, we have a good relationship with the otters. So again, I thank everybody that's involved with these projects that we've been lucky enough to be involved with them as well. And so thank you very much, and tell everybody about our mural. I will say one thing, and some of you may be familiar with some of the carvers in the area. The museum has also highlighted the decoy carvers through the years. And I ran into a buddy of mine, actually a schoolmate of mine, Oliver Lawson, this week. And one of the first things he said was he missed getting over to the museum here when they had the event for the decoy carvers, folk carvers. And Tootsie, as we all knew him in school, used to come up near my house. He lived on the street half a mile away, and he would be coming up in the afternoon after school, and the days that were longer, go through the woods next to my house, never up to my house, but the woods next to the house, and head over to Lynn and Steve Ward's workshop. And that's where he was getting his training and education on how to do decoys. And today, you could say, decoys are very much in demand. So I wanted to say that about Tootsie, because he not only is my schoolmate and not only a friend, but he was a backer of this, the design of this museum, And I just want to throw that out because I'm going to tell him that we were here. But he doesn't get out much nowadays. But anyway, he would be proud of all that you've done. You really would. You want to say something before?
Yeah, the project has been around for a long time, but it's, like Lisa was saying, it needed some work done to it. And one of the things that we were instrumental in is not being just an Indian trail. It's a historic trail. And I encourage everyone to take the brochure and actually make the trip. Because in reality, not only do you learn geographically what things were, you actually ride through the Pocomoke forest, which in many cases have been timbered, but there's some areas that are very authentic to what you would have seen as a Native American. In my part of the project, the historical part, I've been doing research for more than 40 years and have always been interested in Native stuff. So I always have had a collection of things. And when I started working with the Pocomoke Indian Nation, it was unclear where the geographic locations were for any of the people on Delmarva. A little bit more in Virginia because of this Buzzley's work that she did. It was pretty well where it should be. But up here in the lower Somerset County, it was a little confusing. So we worked on that for quite a while to build a website, and therefore we found out through the records the geographic locations of the sub-tribes, the Paramount area, very well, and spent many hours trying to prove herself wrong, if you're a good historian. So the project actually puts not only the Pocomoke in the right geographic area, because we've taken a little bit of area out, we've added a little bit of area in, and we refined that geographic location of the Pocomoke paramountcy. And because of that, it gives a good position on the other tribes that are in this area, including the Aztec and the Natico Indians. So we not only work on our own project, but we work on the entire area. So the beach to bay brochure, the trail is refined that way. So when you travel now, when you go through an area, you got a pretty good idea it's historically correct. So I really enjoyed working on the program, and the group has been wonderful to work with, and I think we'd all be proud of what we've done. Thank you.
Well, I would just encourage the public, both local as well as our visitors through tourism, to pick up these brochures and actually drive this trail. There's going to be stops on the trail where you can get out and hike. There's going to be stops where you can go kayaking. You're going to experience the landscape a number of different ways. For local folks, I think it's important to know the history of where you live. Much of our outreach to schools, we hear all the time students pointing out on the map, well, I live right here, and now they can put into perspective the people who lived there before them. And that's important for their own local understanding as well as for visitors that come. So we're hoping that the trail will be experienced by all ages, and whether you're from here or whether you come here. We hope that you enjoy it.
We have two special things to close out our part for. Sorry, we always go longer and say more words than we planned. Got to keep us tight, right? But there is a tradition among the Pocomoke Indian Nation that is our variation of something more widespread in the Native American world, and that is to give an honor bundle on special occasions like this to some of our special folks, at which time we say Wanishi, which is an Algonquian word in a dialect that would have been understood here on the Eastern Shore, in particular in our region. So Wanishi means thank you. And if you throw the word quiche in front of it, not like food, then it is a big thank you. So quiche Wanishi to some of the folks I'm going to ask to come up. And if you'll extend your right hand, Buddy will extend his to you and place this in hand to hand because that's considered to be the hand closest to the heart. So we will do that efficiently as we can, but it's a special moment. And during that time, a Lakota friend of ours, John Moore, who is here with his wife, Debbie Moore, John is going to, while we are doing this, he's going to sing a Lakota prayer and add to that his drum. So John, if you'll come up and if you want to share up here? Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do this one. There you go, sir.
And Wani is in Lakota, means to live.
Wani means to live in
Wani
Lakota.
means to live, and to live in a good way
Right.
is to live according to your own tradition. This and the song that I was singing is an honest song for the tradition. That because living is not just existing, it's living according to the traditions and the ways that the freedom gives us.
Lisa and Andre, would you? Emily and Anna.
I was trying to get out of the way. We always have a competition. And Christy. Christy, thank you for sharing your beautiful museum with us today. We'll all be back on the 30th. Lisa, anyone else here from the board?
We do have other board members here. I don't know how many. Then I would say Michael, Mona, and Bill. Okay? And come on down. This is what we do in the off season. And this Lori.
That concludes. Thank you, Don. Thank you for your song and your blessings.
Thank you.